all can't come out perfect. It still kills me, it really does. That's kind of the whole point, is for us to make them look better than new, and it doesn't always work out. This car came to us with a lot of paintwork, a lot of texture, overspray, tape line, you name it, it probably has. We did what we could. Brian thinks it looks good. I don't know what he's thinking. But this isn't kind of up to our level, but it's kind of at the point where this is all we can get it to do. This is the sad part of the truth about car dealerships and that kind of thing. It makes the rest of us look bad. He bought this car sight unseen out from another state, and it came in with overspray covering the whole car, very bad paintwork, even though the Carfax shows no accidents or anything. He's trying to figure out if he's going to keep it or try to make them buy it back or whatever, but we're just trying to help ease the pain a little bit, give him something he can at least drive, because before it was not drivable. I mean, the engine looks really good. It's got a built motor in it, big cams, it sounds good. Maybe we'll focus on that. A lot of whine. This is a Mustang Fox Body coupe. This one has a built motor, a supercharger. We'll get into all that later. He has just finished this car, including a paint job and everything else. They wet sanded it to flatten the paint. They did this themselves. It's fine. I mean, it's not terrible. There's still sanding mark, and he really wants us to get that out and make this paint look as good as it possibly can. That's kind of what happens, is we're usually the finishing step. We're not trying to take work away from the painter or anybody else, but we can always improve on what you have. That's what it's here for. There's a big Mustang show coming up, and he's just trying to get it ready for that. We're gonna do a ceramic coating. I think we're doing wheel coating, and just really make it look crazy deep paint. That's the goal behind this one.
What is your automotive hot take?
Oh, I'm not a really car guy.
Do something controversial, something you're passionate about that maybe not a lot of people would like, or you'll die for. Maybe not die, but yeah.
I think I speak for a lot of people here, but I don't understand the squatted trucks or stand-style wheels.
What is your perfect fit move?
Take a picture of any 911 that doesn't have the front end lift up. That's probably pretty good. Flush. No crazy camber, whatever you want to call that.
Every gas station should have a diesel-only pump, so nobody filling up with regular takes over diesel pumps when there's other pumps.
So no sharing.
Yeah, every time there's open gas pumps, there's always the ones that are full or the ones that I need to use and have to wait for them.
And they always go inside with their 8 kids.
Yep.
80% of modern cars are better than classics. There's some cool classics, but yeah.
Could you give us an example?
Well, I mean, just a lot of people put like LS's in the classic car. So I mean, you're only doing it for the body anyway, and a lot of the times I'm not a fan of the body.
Really?
Yeah. There's a very select few that I actually like.
Which ones off the top of your head do you actually like?
69 Chevelle.
Okay.
That's it.
One stitching on the inside. No, if anything, I would say probably the horsepower. Like, yeah, it's cool to have a high horsepower car and everything like that, but realistically, like anything over 350 to 400, it's just not realistic. You know, you're not using it on the road or anything along those lines.
What's the sweet spot for you?
350. I'd say that's a solid number. It's enough to get up and go to where you can get off the stoplight, you can push around somebody, you can get off on a good exit, and get on an on-ramp without slowing traffic down.
Tell me again, what's the question?
So yes, the question to my most scary driver here is, what is your automotive hot take?
This has been going on in my head for a long time. I think there should be either a separate road or a separate lane for those who are experienced to drive, that we can drive faster.
Like an Autobahn.
Kind of, yeah. That's kind of the same thing, because I understand some people use cars for transportation. That's not really what we do. It's more about excitement. Keep thinking somebody's here. Maybe you have to go take a class. You have to prove that you can drive that fast and not hurt somebody. There should be more of a opportunity for us to drive. I mean, that doesn't mean that the police should be following me, trying to give me tickets everywhere I go, but I don't know. Just a thought.
Yes.
Deep thoughts with Scott.
I've been in this business for 40 plus years now. And if you look around the shine shop, you could see from the old to the new, you know, and things have changed over the years. The styles have changed, technology has changed, performance has changed. But the only thing that really never changed is the thrill of driving. You know, when you get behind that wheel, you hit the gas, there's that thrill, there's that rush. And that's something that you never want to lose, is the thrill of driving. So no matter what you drive, whether it be one of the most expensive cars in the world or just your daily, enjoy the drive. Take it out, go for a spin. That's what driving is all about. That's what owning a vehicle is all about. The drive, it's like life. Get in the car, sit back, and enjoy the ride.
As I was pulling around, I can't help but notice how shiny the leather is. So I'm gonna call them in a minute and just see if they want us to go back over and do the interior as well, because once you see the difference of how it's supposed to look, you kind of can't unsee it.
Front ends on these.
Right now, I hate it because it's got
Right now, you hate them.
pieces. Might be worse than a CA Corvette.
Oh, those bad?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, next time we get one in, which will be next week or the week after, I'll show you.
Atrocious.
Not hard, and it's got a lot of pieces.